Get to know. Meet the bright minds behind Certainly CX. Our CEO and CPO.
Hello, I'm Kevin Zyskowski, CEO and co-founder of Certainly CX.
Hi, I'm Cindy Terapak. I am the co-founder and chief people officer of Certainly. Today, we're going to share a bit about Certainly, how we work, and what you can expect when you're working with us.
Let's start at the beginning. What is Certainly CX in your own words, and who do you help?
Is a powerhouse organization that helps our clients streamline their processes, primarily their customer support, multi-channel customer support, whether it be phones, email, social, chat, messaging. But we also provide back office support. So anything routine-based, we can do better than your internal folks can do, and for a lot less cost. So really providing efficiency into your organization.
The why. Why did you choose to build Certainly CX this way instead of as a traditional call center?
Great question. And I think that's like at the heart of how Cindy and I approach everything every single day. We have both been exposed to giant BPOs, whether we were working in them or having service provided by them to us, to organizations we were a part of. And there was a lot missing and a lot of opportunity to do things better, starting with how they treated their own employees. And I think that's critical. And that is the guiding principle that Cindy and I use on a daily basis to make decisions. Because when your employees are fully engaged, they're happy to be at work, they're able to provide their best effort and their best work. They're able to be creative, they feel free to make mistakes and to learn. And that is more important now than ever.
The people and teams. How do you build and customize teams for each client? What goes into that process?
Understanding the client, like we don't believe one size fits all. Each client's growing at a different rate, different needs, and so we design teams around those realities. And then so once we understand the brand voice, their expectations, things like operating hours, channels, metrics, we start to layer in the team, the actual people, the agents. We're looking for cultural fit, leadership, and we find the right people. It doesn't stop there. It goes through the onboarding, training, quality standards, escalation, and some teams need to be adjusted as they grow, as the client's needs change. But with that oversight, we do our best to work with the client to ensure we're building the right team for each client.
AI in practice. What does human-orchestrated AI actually look like in practice? How does that show up in the day-to-day work of your teams?
So it's evolving quickly. I will start with that. But we feel very passionately that our strategy when it comes to AI is the right strategy for our clients, also for our people, but it starts with delivering the right value to our clients. So 2025, AI came in, everyone was super excited about it, and then ended the year in December, and all the articles you were reading were about how AI is the bubble bursting, where's the ROI, all these issues around AI. And the reason for it is because people expected it to be able to solve everything for them without humans in the process. And the other issue with it, and Cindy and I noticed this at many conferences we went to in 2025, the AI was being developed and put into market by technologists, not by operators, not by support experts, not by customer experience experts. And so they didn't know the problems that they were solving for. They just knew that the technology was really cool. And it is really cool and really powerful. But without knowing what you're solving for, you're really just you have the possibility of doing the wrong thing faster and never catching it. And I think that's what happened to a lot of people in 2025. At certainly CX, the vision of human orchestrated AI means that there's always a human in that loop. So the AI can do the routine things, the things that there are hard rules for already. 1 + 1 = 2. But whenever there's discretion, whenever there's intuition needed, creative thought needed, that's when that human who is already there, understands the process, understands how the AI works too, can take that and make sure that the end result is a great experience for that customer. Versus when it's just AI, the experience is dropped and potentially that customer is lost forever. So it's a massive difference. And we feel very strongly about our strategy to go with human orchestrated AI for the foreseeable future.
Why clients stay? From your perspective as CPO, why do clients choose to stay with Certainly CX once they start working with you?
Clients continue to choose to work with us because they see how much we care. We approach our relationship as a long-term partnership and as a responsibility, not just as a transactional service. And I think that really means a lot to our clients. And we get a lot of, referrals that way because they see how much we care. So they see how deeply invested we are. They see how, and by we, I mean me and Kevin. And I think that's really important to them. You don't see that often in BPOs.
Advice for CX leaders. For someone watching who feels their support team is busy but not effective, what is the first step you'd recommend?
If I were to provide just casual advice to a prospective client, or even to a friend who was in the situation where his or her support team was struggling to improve their KPIs, they're always just barely treading water. They're really busy, but they can't make improvements. That's actually a very common thing. That's the first thing I would tell them. Like, you're not alone. The issue is, by the time you get done with all of the tasks assigned to you, you're too tired to innovate. So the first thing you need to do is to look and see, okay, where should I be adding value? Where should my team be adding value? And where are we spending our time today? Do those two things align? They probably don't align perfectly. So it's doing a time study to understand where are we spending our time. That's the first step I would tell them to do. The second step I would tell them is do you know what to do? Do you know what you want to do? And if not, I would say there's great resources. Support Driven is one of Cindy and I's favorite resources for free, really good expertise. But then from there, I would ask myself, should I bring someone in to help with some of these big initiatives? Because I think one of the fallacies, and it's not just in customer support, it's everywhere in every organization, is whenever anyone wants to make change, the ship still has to be driven down the waterway, right? And so if you make the assumption that we can do the project and keep the boat from running into an iceberg, you're making the assumption that your people aren't busy today, and that's the wrong assumption. So you either need to take things off people's plates, and that goes back to that time study. What are the lowest value things? And could we possibly bring someone in to do those? Or do we want to bring someone in from the high end, from the strategy perspective, to help us formulate that strategy. But you can't expect that your team that's busy already is going to be able to drive change. What that's going to drive is attrition, because people are going to get tired, they're going to get burnt out, and they're going to feel like they're not being successful. And it's because they've been put into an environment that doesn't allow for success. So those are the few things I would start with.
Thank you for taking the time to get to know us. If anything in this video interests you or you want to learn more about Certainly, just check out the link below and take time to book a call with us.
Great customer service starts with people who care. Subscribe to learn more about how we do it.